Hey YouTube, this is a quick video to compare the Fujifilm X-H1 with the 16 to 55 millimeter 2.8 lens versus the Sony A7 III with the 24 to 105 f4 lens. So just a little bit of background on me. I was originally a Nikon shooter, always on crop sensor bodies. My last Nikon camera was the D5100. I mostly used that with an 18 to 200 lens. And from there, I went to a Fujifilm X-T10, and I paired that up with the Fuji 16mm 1.4, which really enjoyed using, and I basically stopped using my Nikon gear from that point forward. I went from the X-T10 to the X-T20, and at the time that I purchased the X-T20, I also purchased an X-T2, and kind of did a side-by-side comparison, and I decided to stay with the X-T20. I found that if I paired it up with this little hand grip that I had from X-T10, that I just liked the size and weight of that camera better than the X-T2, so I sent the X-T2 back. And then here recently, I purchased an X-H1 with this lens, which was actually surprising because, as you know, the X-H1 is larger than the XT series. But I just really enjoy using it. I like the ergonomics of it. I like the viewfinder on it. I like the little screen on top. But it just feels, it's just a pleasure to use this camera. So I recently sold my X-T20, but I thought, since I'm kind of doing a fresh comparison and I'm hearing a lot of great buzz about the Sony A7 III, I figured I'd purchase one and give it a shot. And so, like I said, I purchased A7 III with the 24-105. And what I've come to realize is that for me, as a non-professional, I'm just a guy who likes to shoot photos of his family, friends, and maybe some architecture and landscape if I'm traveling. For me, I just enjoy using the Fujifilm more than I enjoyed using the Sony. I like having all my dials and aperture ring and all that easily accessible. This kind of reminds me of my experience with my Nikon, where everything is it's kind of menu driven, or you can customize these buttons and such to control various aspects of the image. But I don't know, I just like the tactile feel and design of the Fujifilm cameras. So that was one thing. The other big thing, actually the more important thing for me, was probably 9 out of 10 of the JPEGs that are produced out of the Fujifilm body are completely usable. I really like the way that those look, whereas the JPEGs that I'm getting out of the Sony, probably only about 50% of them are something, an image that I'd be happy with. And the ones that I'm most unhappy with would be, I do a lot of indoor shooting, under like LED lights, and the skin tones that I'm getting out of the Sony are not, I don't like them. I don't like them at all. But if I'm outdoors or landscape or something like that, every once in a while I'll get an indoor shot that I really like coming out of the Sony. But like I said, I'm mostly shooting, pictures of my family, and those images, to me, at least indoor, I don't like what's coming out of the Sony body. So I'm kind of a lazy shooter. I don't want to spend a ton of time in Photoshop processing images. So that was a big plus for me on the Fujifilm. What else? Oh, the price, obviously. I think this setup together was around, I think the body was $12.99. The lens I got on sale for, I think it was $900 or something like that. Um, Whereas with the Sony, the body was around, I don't know, 1900 bucks, and the lens was around $1,300. So pretty big price difference, for me at least. And so since I'm not making money with these machines, I'm going to be sending the Sony back and probably going a little bit deeper into the Fujifilm system. One analogy I wanted to provide to see if maybe perhaps it might help somebody is, I would liken the Sony to be like a high performance sports car. I mean, extremely fast. The autofocus is amazing. You know, with regard to that, the performance is amazing. So a high performance sport car on the Sony, whereas on the Fuji, I would liken it more to like a luxury car feel. That's the best analogy that I can draw between these two. So any questions, please don't hesitate to post them in the comment section. Thanks.